Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. So today we have another reaction video. We are looking at TikTok, Instagram, and anything else you have tagged me in on social media. All my socials are down below in the description box and probably on the screen now. And as I always like to say at the beginning of these videos, creativity and individuality have no rules, but makeup most definitely has a theory, and that's what we are looking at today. Okay, let's just get straight into it. You know I love videos like that because that's what makeup looks like. We've all seen those pictures of like celebrities from Getty Images before they've been retouched and actually seen skin texture. Makeup has texture itself. Skin has texture itself. We have hairs on our face. We have uneven texture. We have pores. We have everything. So again, we need to stop believing these people when they're like, how do I make my makeup look so smooth? I do this. And it's like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know how safe that is, but who didn't used to do that, like in their room when they were younger, with that or Skittles or M&Ms, or if you're in the UK, Smarties. It does give off a lot of color. I'm sure they make them like safe and like non-toxic now, as everyone's kind of into that. So you probably could use them on the face, to be fair. That orange should look incredible. Would I do it every day? Probably not. It might be a little bit dry on the lips too.
You always want to use orange on the greenish bruise-like spots, then green around all the reddish spots. Then I use yellow around where I use the orange spots because it cancels bruise-like areas. And then blend and it should be good.
Orange doesn't cancel out green necessarily. It can kind of help, I guess, in a way, but orange is aimed at my more kind of like bluey, purpley tones. Red actually cancels out green, and green cancels out red. So it doesn't really, that's not really the case. And then she goes on to say that yellow, she uses yellow on the orange spots because it cancels out bruising areas. I don't quite understand. So there's even no need for that layer. Again, because it doesn't really do much. If anything, it's just kind of gonna brighten that orange tone. I don't quite, maybe I don't quite get that.
Reverse contouring, and why do people do it? I'll tell you, because I love doing this. Reverse contouring is the opposite of contouring. You can start with a concealer or a brightening powder. You can even use a powder foundation. You want to go 2 to 3 shades lighter than your skin tone. I'm going to start under my eyes and bring this down the sides of my nose, then lift up. You always want to lift up when you're reverse contouring. What this is doing is bringing this area forward. Instead of when you contour, it makes areas recede and look sunken in. Picking up some more, I'm gonna go right under my eye on the outer corner and lift up. This eye is snatched compared to this eye. When you contour, you usually apply it into the hollows of your cheeks. When you reverse contour, you take your matte highlight and apply it underneath. I keep it in line with my earlobe. I also connect it by my mouth. Lifting up. Reverse contouring gives you a facelift with makeup. It's pretty crazy. Just for
highlighting. Basically, you're highlighting the face. She is already wearing bronzer, something like that. So technically there's a bit of structure there as well, but that's just the highlighting stage of contour. Contour isn't just applying the darker shade. Contouring is sculpting the face. So the term reverse contouring is kind of not needed because it's still contouring. So it's just highlighting. And of course, it works because if you have something light against something dark for contrast, it's gonna create contour. Beautiful. We looked at that cheek contour a few weeks back, if I remember, and somebody did it they filled it in almost like beard-like. This is a lot more in terms of structure and direction. It's always great when you're contouring, highlighting, to have a point to look at. If you want it like severely lifted, you can draw that point in your hair, in your hairline, and aim for that point. And that goes for everything. If you want, again, severity with your lift, your eyebrows, your eyeliner, your eye makeup, your lashes can all point in that one direction and meet at that point. Did we look at that already? That's not really necessary because it just ended up blended into like the normal cheek thing. If you have fuller cheeks, if you don't like it, you kind of want to leave this area alone. If you draw underneath here, you're cusping that let me do it now for you. You're cusping that apple of a cheek. So if you don't like a fuller apple of a cheek, then you don't necessarily want to contour it because you're just making it fuller. You're making it more obvious. And in some cases, even like lowering the face a little bit, you can tidy up under here. But can you see how this bit looks flatter and this bit looks plumper? So if you do have plump apples of the cheeks, it's not really the best technique. Let me even myself out. If you want to accentuate it, then absolutely. I'm not sure what that little round ball on the end there was. That's not really necessary. I guess it's just to be like eye-catching. Okay, so this video has copyright music in the background behind the person talking, so I'm just going to read the captions as we go. Okay, so it says, I've always been bad at doing wings, and then I looked at this and I was like, this is kind of wing shape, watch this. And then she stamps it onto the eyelid, like so, cute. Now I can just, and then she does it again, stamp. And joins the liner onto the rest of the lid. Good discovery. It would work, but yeah. But I mean, you're gonna poo yourself when you see the actual eyeliner stamps that exist. This is like, what's it called? These like infographics. And it's how to balance your excess foundation. Do dab with a beauty blender. Don't blend it with the, blend it with a brush. Blending it with the brush, may create a patchy look. That's not necessarily true. If you do have excess foundation on the face, beauty blender's fine also, but brushes are also fine as well. If you just use a dense brush, I love this one from my Kitco, and tap it in just like a beauty blender, but without the bounce, it'll be absolutely fine. I swear people just make things up for like, you know. And then we also have this one, which is saying where to highlight. Here's the thing, right? When you see grass with these lines on the face, remember everyone's face is different. Where people contour and where you contour, or where you highlight and where they highlight, is completely different. You don't have to do line, 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 line. For example, on a longer face, the highlight going down like that will elongate the face, as well as having it in the middle will make it a little bit longer too. And same on the chin, you're doing this light all down the middle. So if you do have a longer face, it's nice to do like brow bone, cheek here, and then lip. You know, keep it like this. Whereas if you have a rounder face, it's nicer to do it like this. But if you want to enhance the length, if you have a longer face, then do that. If you want to enhance the roundness, and do it across as well. It's so strange because we're so into makeup, and we all know that everyone's face is different, everyone's skin is different, but yet when it comes to contour, a lot of the time people just do exactly the same thing. It's a very like, you know, come on guys. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Do consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.